Could you imagine grabbing your food from across the room with your tongue? Well, that's what a chameleon does when its eyes detect light bouncing off the wings of a yummy insect. Or could you imagine flying in pitch-black darkness without flying into a tree or building? Bats do this by detecting sound wave echoes, and then their brain tells them exactly where to turn. Or could you imagine having to sense the tiniest of vibrations to know your meal is ready? That's exactly what web-building spiders do. Their eyesight isn't too great, so they feel for vibrations on their web to alert them that dinner has arrived. These creatures are doing something you do every single day, using their senses to survive. Today, we're going to discover how animals use their 5 senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch to find food, avoid danger, and stay alive. Here's how it works in scientific terms. First, animals receive information through their senses. We call this information a stimulus. Light, sounds, smell, touch, and taste are all stimuli. Second, their brain then processes that stimulus. It figures out what the information means. Third, the animal responds. It takes action based on what its brain figured out. Stimulus, brain processing, response. That's the pattern we'll see over and over today. During today's lesson, students can use the guided notes to improve comprehension, and after the video is over, you can keep learning with all the extension activities. The link to all these activities is in the description. Now, let's explore some incredible animal senses. We will begin with sight. Animals use light as a stimulus all the time. Picture an eagle flying hundreds of feet in the air. Light reflections from fish in the water are a stimulus. The eagle's brain processes this visual information and calculates exactly where to dive. Or check out the archerfish, an incredible sharpshooter. Light and shadows from an insect sitting on a leaf above water is a stimulus. The archerfish's brain calculates the angle perfectly, accounting for the way light bends in water, and then splash! It shoots a jet of water to knock the bug down. Now let's talk about hearing, detecting sound waves as stimuli. Hearing is super important for bats. Sound waves are a stimulus for a bat. Bats send out sounds that bounce off trees and buildings. Then their brain processes the echoes that bounce back towards their ears to create a sound map of their surroundings. It's called echolocation, and it helps them avoid flying into things. And deer have to be constantly alert for danger. The snapping sound of branches is a stimulus that their brain recognizes as a potential threat. Then there is smell. Smell is all about detecting chemical signals in the air or in the water as stimuli. A shark's nose actually smells things in the water. With its powerful nose, chemical signals in the ocean are a stimulus for sharks. They can detect blood from an injured fish from miles away. Those chemical signals tell the shark's brain there's food nearby. Bloodhounds have the best sense of smell of any dog breed. Chemical signals from another animal's scent are a stimulus that can last for days. And then there's touch. Feeling pressure, temperature, and vibrations as stimuli. Remember our spider from the beginning? Vibrations on its web are a stimulus for the spider. When an insect lands, it creates tiny vibrations. The spider's legs are so sensitive they can feel these vibrations instantly, and its brain processes exactly where the bug landed. And lizards are cold-blooded, which means they need outside heat to maintain their body temperature. Warm sunlight on skin is a stimulus for a lizard. When they feel warm sunlight on their skin, their brain knows it's time to chill out and soak up that heat energy. Now let's see if you can correctly identify which sense animals are using in the first part of your guided notes. You can pause the video now. It will resume in a few moments. Nice job identifying those senses. Now let's talk about the most exciting part, how animals respond to the stimuli that their brain processes. Remember, animals don't just receive information. It's always a system of cause and effect. Their brain figures out what the stimulus means, and then the animal takes action. Let's see some incredible responses. Some stimuli triggers a hunting response. When a cheetah detects movement in the distance, its brain immediately processes this and goes into hunting mode. The cheetah's response is to chase. It can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. Herons are patient hunters. When they detect fish movement in shallow water, their response is lightning fast. They strike with their sharp beak in less than a tenth of a second. Even plants can respond to stimuli. When an insect touches the trigger hairs inside a Venus flytrap, the plant's response is to snap shut in about a tenth of a second, trapping its prey. For some creatures, a stimulus triggers an escape or defense response. When a rabbit detects a predator's shape or sudden movement, its brain processes danger. The rabbit's response is to hop away quickly or hide in the nearest safe spot. Some octopus have an incredible escape response. When they detect a threat, their response is to instantly change color and texture to blend into their surroundings. Their brain can match patterns in less than a second. And pufferfish have a very dramatic response to danger. When they detect a predator approaching, their response is to gulp water and inflate to 3 times their normal size, making them too big and spiky to eat. Stimuli in the environment can also tell an animal where they need to go to survive during different parts of the year. Many birds detect changes in the amount of daylight and temperature as stimuli. Their response is to migrate, sometimes flying thousands of miles to find food and better weather. And baby sea turtles hatch on beaches at night. When they detect the bright light from the moon reflecting off the ocean, their response is to crawl straight toward the water where they'll be safe. When penguins detect freezing Antarctic winds, their response is to huddle together with hundreds of other penguins. The ones on the outside slowly rotate to the inside, so everyone stays warm. When a bear tastes bitter berries, its response is to spit them out immediately. The bitter taste is a warning signal that the berries might be poisonous. And when elephants detect a predator nearby, their response is to form a protective circle with the calves safely in the middle. The adults face outward to protect the weaker elephants. As you can see, animals have some pretty amazing responses to the stimuli they detect. From hunting to hiding, from migrating miles away to changing color, every response helps them survive. You're now ready to complete the second section of your guided notes. Correctly match the response with the stimulus that made it happen. After that, you can test your knowledge with the challenge pages, color in your own anchor poster, or talk about these ideas with the discussion slides. Thanks for watching. If you could leave a like or subscribe, it'd really help the channel reach more educators. See you next time!